Hello all, my name is Piotr and I build Ru guitars. Last week I cut the binding channel on the neck in the fretboard. That turned out really well. And this week I'm going to do the same on the body. This will require some preparation, however, like sanding the entire perimeter of the entire side of the body. Sanding it very smooth because the body itself will serve as a template, just like the neck did a week ago. So I'll be doing this today, but first, you may remember that I have an unusual neck plate, which is tapered a bit. I don't know what it's called really. It's got different shape than your traditional one. So what I need to do here is mark the shape of that plate and then cut the neck pocket to follow that shape. And I'll do it on my scroll saw. And then I'll do the sanding and routing the binding channel. So let's start with that. I need to take the neck off. Do I? No, I need to do the marking first. So let's do that. Right, so this is the shape of the neck plate. It gives you access to higher frets by just cutting out this portion of the neck pocket. And to mark the distance from the neck plate to the edge where I want to cut it off, I'm going to use a metal washer. I'm going to just pop it here and mark that distance. This is not the final distance. It seems to be a little bit too small for what I need it for. Like you can see here, it doesn't reach all the way. So I'm gonna have to be careful while cutting it and then shaping it, not to actually go all the way to the line, or I can just shape this section as well, and it will look nicely with the neck plate. I'll decide what to do when I'm actually doing it, but for now I need to cut this section off. And to do it, I need to take the neck off and set up my scroll saw. Yeah, I need to hook up the vacuum. Okay, so the neck pocket is cut off now. Yep, like so. And that's what it looks like with the neck plate. Right, now I need to shape it, and I think I will follow the line that I marked all the way through. The problem I have is that I don't have a belt sander or disc sander that is actually 90 degrees, and I need to keep it straight by hand. So this will be challenging. It's not impossible. I just need to be very careful when sanding it. Okay, so this needs to be refined. It's not critical for the binding, because binding goes only on top, around the top of the guitar, and it terminates here and here. So this does not even play part in it, but the entire perimeter of the guitar needs to be sanded. So I may even leave that, because I'm thinking of getting a bobbin sander soon, so maybe I'll just wait with that. Anyways, let's get the sander out and sand the side of the guitar all around. What I have here is a random orbital sander, which not only spins around but also shakes, creating unpredictable patterns, random patterns, so you don't end up with swirls sanded into the wood. And I have 120 sandpaper and 240. I'm going to start with 120. I didn't want to go any lower because, except for a couple places like here, I don't think it needs a lot of shaping. So 120 should be enough. If it's not, I can go back to, I think I've got 80 for it, so I can do the back with 80, and then we'll see. I need to be careful to keep it straight, otherwise I can introduce an angle. That's why the bobbin sander is the best tool to use for this sort of work. I haven't got one, so yeah, I need to just be careful. I modified it a bit to attach the vacuum. It's a messy process. Let's see how it goes. Shouldn't be that bad actually. Let's see. Okay, I need to figure out a way to mount this differently, like so. So I can hold the sander from top. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I changed the sandpaper to 80 grit to get rid of those divots. This is actually tear out from the router bit. They are quite deep and I may not be able to do it all the way. I will need to think of filling that with dust and the glue, but that will come later. Now I need to get it to be absolutely smooth if I can. This unfortunately is right where the bearing of the router bit is. So yeah, I'll need to figure it out. But for now, I'll just sand it flat and we'll see. I have to fix the extraction, of course, because it's a temporary solution, so it will work for like, I don't know, 10 years maybe. This is not the most powerful sander I've seen. It might actually be the least powerful, which is very good. I have the mouse sander, which may be better for this. We'll see. And I don't need to modify the extraction for it. And this seems like 80 grit sandpaper on it. It is. Let's try this sander instead. Might be easier to keep it straight and flat because of the tiny size. We'll see. Okay, so it's much easier to work with this mouse sander than the random orbiter one, and it seems like it's doing a really good job. This is almost invisible now, which is perfect, and the rest seems to be great. Let's see if it's square. It is for the most part. I need to be careful not to press it on the side, but rather just right on top of whatever it's sanding. It's got a stiff base, so it's not going to round it over, which is ideal, but I need to be careful to keep it straight and not twisted onto one side. Okay, let's do it. Okay, I've got a block. It's a cork block. It's pretty stiff, so it should be fine. And I'm using 120 sandpaper, and I'll try sanding it by hand. I want to keep it absolutely flat and also square with the top and the back. Okay, this work holding is horrible. Okay, so that's the flat surfaces done for now. I'm very happy with how straight that is, and those divots are nearly invisible now, so that's fine. So that's the tear from routing. There is some tear out here, but this is the concave section, which I could not do with the sander or with the sanding block. I will be using a metal pipe with some foam padding. It's quite stiff foam, it's not going to really round it over, I hope. But this will let me get into all these tight spaces here and all the concave sections, and hopefully it will get rid of the tear out. So yeah, let's try that. I'm going to start again with 120 and I'll do it slowly to see how much material this is actually taking, so I don't go too far too quickly. Good lighting really helps to see the changes. Let me put my mask on. You can see it's quite warm in here, especially if you're wearing a mask. Anyways, the sides are sanded to up to 240. I didn't go any further. I don't have 320 sandpaper. It's quite tricky to get here for some reason, but 240 will be just right for that purpose, so I'm happy with it. Checking the square, it all looks really good. I will be sanding the sides more after the binding is on. Not much, but just a bit. So any corrections can be made then, but I don't think we need any corrections. So yeah, next step is routing the binding channel. And I think I'm gonna try something unconventional, because when I routed the binding channel on the neck, I noticed that when I press the binding against the fretboard, there's still a lip on the neck, which means that either this binding is not 1.5 mil, well it is, which means that the router bit that I'm using for routing the binding channel is not 1.5, but slightly more than that. So to avoid the same issue, well, it's not an issue, because once the binding is in, I can sand or scrape the neck to match it perfectly, so it will be invisible. But to avoid doing that, I will put some masking tape, just one layer of masking tape all around the body, where the bearing will be riding on, and this will give us the distance of the masking tape thickness all around, and it will cut the binding channel slightly shallow. There is another issue here. The binding that I have is 6mm, and the top that I have on the guitar is more than that. It is 8mm, which will, it's not an issue. It will give us like a purfling around the binding, and some of the spalting will be visible through it, which may look really nice when I sand it all, but I'm planning on staining sides and the back black. So even though it may look really good, it won't be visible because it will all be stained black. But it's one of those things. So let's prepare the routing table and set it for routing the body. Let's do that. Okay, so using masking tape, added a tiny bit of padding to the template bit of the wood, so the bearing was riding on the masking tape, but there's still a lip. So I would rather have bindings sticking out that tiny bit than the wood, to be honest. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to buy a thicker binding. This one is 1.5mm, 1.5 exactly. There is binding, there's 1.6mm, and I think this will solve the issue altogether without, you know, using masking tape. So yeah, for the body, I will just go ahead and I will route it out as is. Yeah, and that should be fine. Yeah, let's do that. And there it is. It's a binding channel on the body. I can't immediately see any issues with it. The router bit is pretty sharp, so it cuts nicely. And yeah, as I mentioned, there is this the bit of top that is left. It looks like purfling. Looks really nice. If I wasn't staining it black, I would probably want to expose it somehow, because where the spalting comes through, like here, you can clearly see that there is a layer of the top, like here. This looks really nice, but anything below the binding will be stained black, so this will disappear altogether, unfortunately. So yeah, so this is done. I'm very happy with it. Right, so the binding channels are cut in both the body and the neck. That's quite a progress, actually. I'm very happy with how they turned out. I can't see any issues with the binding channel. I just need to order a thicker binding. That shouldn't be difficult. So yeah, that's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for sticking around, and I'll see you next week. Thank you. Love you, bye.